I did it. I'm audacious.
I did it because you never listen!
If sarcasm were currency, I'd be a billionaire. Too bad it can't buy happiness or a faithful spouse. My name is Ethan Parker, and I'm 36 years old with a receding hairline that my wife Claire likes to point out whenever she's feeling particularly cruel. I work as a financial advisor at Morrison & Associates, helping middle-class families plan for retirement they'll probably never afford. It's honest work, even if it doesn't pay BMW money like Claire's PR job. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Speaking of Claire, she's sitting across from me at our kitchen table right now, sliding a typed document across the maple surface like she's serving divorce papers. Her blonde hair is perfectly styled even at 7 in the morning, and her makeup is already camera-ready for whatever corporate event she's planning today. "What's this?" I ask, though the header already tells me everything I need to know. Open marriage agreement, terms and conditions. Exactly what it looks like, Claire says, sipping her coffee from the mug I bought her last Christmas, the one that says "World's Best Wife." The irony isn't lost on me. I scan the document, my financial advisor brain automatically cataloging the bullet points like they're investment risks, which I suppose they are. Rule number 1, I read aloud. Both parties may pursue romantic relationships outside the marriage with full disclosure and mutual respect. I look up at her. Full disclosure? Since when do you disclose anything to me? Claire's green eyes narrow. Don't be dramatic, Ethan. This is about honesty, about not living a lie anymore. Whose lie? I've been faithful for 8 years. And miserable for at least 3 of them. She's not wrong, but hearing it stated so matter-of-factly feels like a slap. I continue reading. Rule number 2. Outside relationships will not interfere with household responsibilities or financial obligations. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. How considerate. Rule number 3. No overnight guests in the family home without prior agreement. It's reasonable, Claire says, checking her phone. Always checking her phone these days. Rule number 4. Either party may terminate the arrangement with 30 days written notice. I set the paper down. This reads like a business contract. Maybe that's what marriage should be. Clear expectations instead of fairy tale nonsense. I study my wife's face, looking for some trace of the woman I married. The one who cried during romantic comedies and left little love notes in my lunch bag. That woman seems to have been replaced by this corporate stranger who schedules affection like board meetings. There's already someone, isn't there? I ask. Claire's pause tells me everything. Oliver from the Henderson account has expressed interest. Oliver Martinez. I know him from Claire's work events. Tall, dark hair, drives a silver BMW 5 Series, and wears suits that cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. He has the kind of confident smile that says he's never been told no by anyone who mattered. How long? I ask. Nothing's happened yet, but there's chemistry. Chemistry, like we're talking about a science experiment instead of our marriage. And if I don't sign this? Claire finally looks up from her phone. Then we get divorced, and you lose half of everything anyway. At least this way, we keep the house, split expenses, and maybe find some happiness. The document sits between us like a loaded weapon. I pick up the pen she's placed next to it, expensive Mont Blanc that was probably a gift from Oliver. You've really thought this through, I say. I'm good at my job, Ethan. I plan things. I sign my name at the bottom, my signature looking defeated even to me. There. Happy? Claire takes the document and slides it into her briefcase. I think we both will be. She kisses my forehead like I'm her brother instead of her husband, grabs her coffee, and heads for the door. I'll be late tonight. Oliver's taking me to dinner to discuss the Henderson campaign. The door closes behind her with a soft click, leaving me alone with my cold coffee and the wreckage of my marriage. Through the window, I watch her drive away in her red Audi, the car she bought with her last promotion bonus. My phone buzzes with a text from my brother Daniel. "Coffee later? You sound weird lately." Daniel's 2 years younger than me, but somehow seems to have life figured out better. He's a contractor who builds custom homes for wealthy clients, makes good money, and has been happily married to his college sweetheart for 6 years. No open marriage agreements in their house. I text back, "Can't. Work stuff." It's a lie, but I'm not ready to explain that my wife just handed me permission to cheat on her. The whole situation feels surreal, like I'm watching someone else's life fall apart. At work, I try to focus on helping Mrs. Henderson plan for her retirement. The irony that she shares a last name with Claire's new client isn't lost on me. Mrs. Henderson is 73, widowed, and wants to make sure her money lasts another 20 years. The key is diversification, I tell her, pulling up charts on my computer. We don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like marriage, she says with a knowing smile. My Harold and I, we had our ups and downs, but we never gave up on each other. These days, young people quit too easy. If only she knew. My boss, Mr. Vance, stops by my cubicle after Mrs. Henderson leaves. He's a decent guy in his 50s who treats his employees fairly and doesn't micromanage. "Everything okay, Ethan? You seem distracted." "Just tired," I say. "Late night." "Well, get some rest. The Johnsons are coming in tomorrow for their portfolio review, and they're particular about details." The rest of the day drags by. I review investment statements, return phone calls, and pretend my personal life isn't imploding. When 5 o'clock finally arrives, I drive home to an empty house. Claire's note is on the kitchen counter. "Dinner with Oliver ran late. Don't wait up. See." It's not even 8 o'clock. I heat up leftover pizza and turn on the news, but I can't concentrate on anything. My mind keeps wandering to Claire and Oliver, probably at some upscale restaurant downtown, discussing their chemistry over wine that costs more than I make in a day. Around 10, I hear Claire's car in the driveway. She comes through the front door, looking slightly disheveled, her lipstick gone, and her hair not quite as perfect as when she left this morning. "How was dinner?" I ask from the couch. "Productive," she says, not meeting my eyes. "We made good progress on the campaign." "I'm sure you did." She pauses at the bottom of the stairs. "Ethan, this doesn't have to be ugly. We can make this work if we're both mature about it." "Mature," I repeat. "Right." Claire goes upstairs, and I hear the shower running. I sit in the dark living room, staring at nothing, wondering how my life became a bad movie. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. "Hey, it's Maya from Claire's work. Saw you and Claire at Rossetti's tonight. She looked happy." Except I wasn't at Rossetti's tonight. I was here, eating cold pizza and watching my marriage dissolve. I text back, "Wrong person, wasn't me." Maya responds immediately, "OMG, so sorry. Must have been Oliver. They look so cute together." And there it is, the first public sighting. Claire and Oliver looking cute together at an expensive restaurant while I sat home like a fool. I delete the text thread and head upstairs. Claire's already in bed, turned away from me, pretending to sleep. I lie down on my side of the bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathe. Tomorrow, I decide, things are going to change. I signed her agreement, but that doesn't mean I have to be a victim. If Claire wants to play games, I can learn the rules too. I just hope I'm better at this than she thinks I am. 3 weeks into our open marriage, I've become an expert at reading the signs. Claire comes home later each night, her excuses growing more creative. Client dinner, networking event, emergency campaign meeting. She started wearing perfume I didn't buy her and carries breath mints in her purse. The worst part isn't the lying. It's the pity. Maya Chen, Claire's gossipy coworker, has taken it upon herself to become my unofficial informant. Her texts arrive with clockwork regularity, each one a small knife to the gut disguised as friendly concern. Saw Claire and Oliver at the Symphony fundraiser. She looks stunning in that blue dress. They make such a power couple at the Morrison Industries mixer. Oliver's BMW was in your driveway yesterday afternoon. Hope you don't mind me mentioning it. I don't respond to any of them, but Maya doesn't seem to need encouragement. She's like a one-woman gossip network, documenting my wife's affair with the enthusiasm of a nature photographer tracking exotic birds. The blue dress comment particularly stings because I know the dress. I bought it for Claire's birthday 2 years ago. She claimed it was too fancy and never wore it. Apparently, it's perfect for dates with Oliver. Tonight is the Morrison & Associates annual client appreciation dinner, and Claire insisted I attend. It's important for my career that you're there, she said, which translates to, I need you as a prop to maintain my professional image. The event is at the Grandview Hotel downtown, the kind of place where appetizers cost more than most people's lunch budgets. I'm wearing my best suit, a navy blue number that's 3 years old but still looks decent. Claire is stunning in a black cocktail dress that probably cost more than my monthly car payment. We arrive separately, of course. Claire had last-minute preparations to handle. I find her near the bar, laughing at something Oliver is saying. He's wearing a charcoal gray suit that fits him like it was painted on, and his smile is so white it's practically luminescent. Ethan! Claire waves me over with the kind of enthusiasm she reserves for root canals. You remember Oliver Martinez from the Henderson campaign. Oliver extends his hand, and his grip is firm enough to send a message without being obvious. Good to see you again, Ethan. Claire's told me so much about you. All good things, I hope, I reply, though we both know better. Of course. She mentioned you're in financial planning. Must be steady work. The pause before steady is deliberate. In Oliver's world, steady means boring, safe, forgettable. Someone has to help people prepare for the future, I say, though I suppose some people prefer to live in the moment. Oliver's smile doesn't waver, but something flickers in his eyes. Life's short. Might as well enjoy it. Claire jumps in before the conversation can get more pointed. Oliver, didn't you want to introduce Ethan to the Henderson people? What follows is an hour of professional torture. I'm paraded around like a show pony, introduced to clients who clearly don't care about my existence. Meanwhile, Claire and Oliver work the room together, their chemistry so obvious it might as well be advertised on billboards. I watch them from across the room, noting how Oliver's hand lingers on Claire's back when he guides her through the crowd, how she laughs at his jokes with genuine delight, the kind of laughter I haven't heard from her in years. How they stand just close enough to suggest intimacy without crossing professional lines. They're good at this. Too good. Rough night? I turn to find Jules Morrison, one of Claire's work friends, holding 2 glasses of wine. She's a redhead in her early 30s with sharp eyes and a sharper tongue. Just enjoying the show, I say, accepting the wine. Claire and Oliver do make quite the team, Jules says, watching them with amusement. Very collaborative. That's one word for it. Jules laughs. Oh, honey, you know, don't you? There's no point in pretending. Hard to miss. For what it's worth, I think you're handling it well. Most men would have caused a scene by now. The night's still young. True, but you seem like the type who plans his moves carefully, financial advisor and all. She's more perceptive than I gave her credit for. What makes you say that? Just a feeling. Plus, Maya mentioned you've been asking questions about Claire's schedule. Nothing obvious, just thorough. Maya's big mouth strikes again. I make a mental note to be more careful about what I say around Claire's coworkers. I like to stay informed, I say. Smart man. Information is power, especially in situations like this. Before I can ask what she means, The lights dim, and someone taps a microphone. The evening's program is starting, which means speeches from executives and a slideshow of company achievements. Claire takes the stage to present the Henderson campaign results. She's confident, articulate, and completely in her element. The presentation is flawless, full of impressive statistics and glowing client testimonials. Oliver watches from the front row like a proud boyfriend. As you can see, Claire says, clicking to the final slide, the Henderson campaign exceeded all expectations. This success wouldn't have been possible without the collaborative efforts of our entire team, especially Oliver Martinez, whose creative vision brought this project to life. The applause is enthusiastic. Oliver stands and gives a small bow, then blows Claire a kiss. It's subtle enough to seem playful rather than romantic, but I catch the intimate smile she gives him in return. That's when I notice Maya in the corner, holding up her phone. She's recording everything, probably for her social media feeds. The woman documents her life like she's running for office. After the presentation, I find myself cornered by Mr. Henderson himself, a wealthy developer in his 60s who apparently thinks I'm fascinating. Financial planning, eh? I've been thinking about diversifying my portfolio. Too much money tied up in real estate these days? I give him my standard pitch about balanced investments and risk management, but my attention keeps drifting to Claire and Oliver. They've moved to a quiet corner near the windows, standing closer than any married woman should stand to a man who isn't her husband. Don't you think? Mr. Henderson is saying. Absolutely, I reply, having no idea what I'm agreeing to. Excellent. I'll call your office tomorrow to set up a meeting. Great. I just accidentally agreed to something, but at least it might mean new business. The evening winds down around 10 o'clock. Guests filter out in small groups, most of them slightly drunk and overly satisfied with themselves. I'm standing by the coat check when I overhear a conversation that stops me cold. Did you see the way Oliver was looking at Claire tonight? It's Trent Williams, another PR executive. If I didn't know better, I'd say they were sleeping together. You didn't know? Maya's voice, full of mock surprise. Honey, that ship sailed weeks ago. Claire told me all about their arrangement. What arrangement? Open marriage. Very modern, very sophisticated. Ethan's totally okay with it. My face burns with embarrassment and rage. Claire told Maya about our agreement. Probably told half the office, judging by the knowing looks I've been getting all night. Wow, Trent says. I don't know if I could handle that, watching my wife with another man. Some men are more secure than others, Maya replies. Though between you and me, I think Ethan's getting the raw end of this deal. Claire's having the time of her life while he sits home alone. Maybe he's seeing someone too. Maya laughs. Ethan, please. That man wouldn't know how to cheat if you gave him an instruction manual. They move away, still talking. But I've heard enough. I'm not just the cuckolded husband anymore. I'm the pathetic cuckolded husband who everyone pities. The joke of Claire's social circle. I find Claire saying goodbye to Oliver near the elevator. They're standing close enough that I can see her hand resting on his chest. Ready to go? I ask. Claire startles slightly, like she forgot I existed. Oh, yes, of course. Oliver, thank you for a wonderful evening. The pleasure was all mine, Oliver says, taking her hand and kissing it like we're in some Victorian romance novel. I'll call you tomorrow about the Morrison Industries proposal. Sure he will. We ride the elevator down in silence. In the parking garage, Claire heads toward Oliver's BMW instead of my Honda. Where are you going? I ask. Oliver's giving me a ride home. My car's in the shop, remember? I don't remember her mentioning anything about her car, but I don't argue. I watch them drive away together, Oliver's expensive car purring out of the garage like a satisfied cat. I sit in my Honda for a long time, processing the evening's humiliations. Maya's casual cruelty, Jules's knowing looks, Oliver's smug confidence, Claire's public display of affection with another man while I stood there like a fool. But the worst part was realizing that everyone knew. The whole office has been watching my marriage fall apart like it's entertainment. They probably take bets on how long I'll last before I crack. My phone buzzes with a text from Daniel. How was the fancy dinner? Rub elbows with any millionaires? I start to type a casual response, then delete it. Instead, I write, Can we get coffee tomorrow? I need to talk. He responds immediately. Everything okay? No, but it will be. I drive home to my empty house, pour myself a large whiskey, and sit down at my computer. If Claire wants to play games, fine, but she's about to learn that I'm much better at research than she thinks. By the time she comes home at 2 a.m, I've already started building my case. The next morning, Claire sleeps until 10. I'm already dressed and drinking my second cup of coffee when she finally stumbles downstairs in one of my old t-shirts, her hair a mess and mascara smudged under her eyes. Good morning, I say pleasantly. Sleep well? She mumbles something that might be yes and heads straight for the coffee maker. Her hands shake slightly as she pours, whether from exhaustion or guilt, I can't tell. Oliver seemed nice last night, I continue. Very attentive. Claire freezes with the coffee mug halfway to her lips. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just making conversation. You two work well together. She studies my face, looking for sarcasm or anger, but I keep my expression neutral. After 8 years of marriage, I've learned to hide my thoughts when necessary. We do, she says carefully. The Henderson campaign was a big success. So I heard. Mr. Henderson wants to meet with me about his investments. This perks her up. Really? That's wonderful, Ethan. He's worth millions. Apparently, watching my wife's presentation was quite inspiring. The double meaning isn't lost on her, but she chooses to ignore it. I'm glad something good came out of last night. Something good. Like her public flirtation with Oliver was just a business networking opportunity. I'm meeting Daniel for coffee, I say, grabbing my keys. Don't wait up. It's a petty comment, but it feels good to throw her words back at her. Daniel is already waiting at our usual spot, a small cafe near his construction office. He's wearing jeans and a flannel shirt, his hands permanently stained with sawdust and honest work. Looking at him, I feel overdressed in my khakis and button-down shirt. You look like hell, he says by way of greeting. Thanks. You always know just what to say. Seriously, what's going on? You've been weird for weeks. I order a large coffee and a blueberry muffin, stalling for time. How do you tell your younger brother that your wife is sleeping with another man and the whole city seems to know about it? Claire and I are having problems, I finally say. What kind of problems? The kind where she's dating other people. Daniel's coffee cup stops halfway to his mouth. Come again? I tell him everything. The open marriage agreement, Oliver, the public humiliation at last night's dinner. Daniel listens without interrupting, his expression growing darker with each detail. Jesus Christ, Ethan. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Because it's embarrassing. My wife asked for permission to cheat on me, and I gave it to her. You didn't have a choice. She was going to do it anyway. That's what I keep telling myself. Daniel leans back in his chair, processing. So what's your plan? My plan? Don't tell me you're just going to take this lying down. The Ethan I know doesn't roll over for anyone. He's right. Growing up, I was the brother who stood up to bullies, who fought back when pushed too far. Somewhere along the way, I became the kind of man who signs agreements to let his wife sleep around. I'm gathering information, I say, learning their patterns, their weaknesses. Information for what? I haven't decided yet. Daniel grins, and for a moment he looks like the kid who used to help me plan elaborate revenge schemes against neighborhood jerks. Now you're talking. What have you found out? I pull out my phone and show him a series of screenshots. Oliver's Instagram account is public. He posts constantly. Look at this. The photos tell a story. Oliver at expensive restaurants, Oliver at charity galas, Oliver posing next to his BMW, and increasingly, Oliver with Claire. Never anything obviously romantic, but always together, always looking happy. Cocky bastard, Daniel mutters. Look at this one. It's a photo from last night's dinner. Oliver and Claire standing together during her presentation, both smiling at the camera. The caption reads, "Great partners make great campaigns. Teamwork. Success. Blessed." He's practically advertising their affair, I say. What about Claire's accounts? More subtle, but still obvious if you know what to look for. I scroll through Claire's Facebook feed. Look at the timing. Every post about working late corresponds with Oliver posting from the same location. Daniel studies the evidence with the methodical attention he usually reserves for building blueprints. This is good, but it's not enough. You need something bigger. Like what? Like proof that they're violating their own rules. Didn't you say no overnight guests without permission? He's right. According to the agreement Claire made me sign, outside relationships couldn't interfere with household responsibilities or bring uninvited guests to our home. But Oliver's BMW has been in my driveway 3 times this week while I was at work. I need surveillance, I say. I know a guy. Of course he does. Daniel knows guys for everything. It's one of the advantages of working construction in a mid-sized city. Everyone knows everyone, and favors flow like water. What kind of guy? Security systems. He owes me for some work I did on his house. Discreet, professional, and he hates cheaters. How do you know he hates cheaters? Because his ex-wife cleaned him out in their divorce, took half his business and moved in with her personal trainer. Perfect. A security expert with a grudge against unfaithful wives. We finish our coffee and drive to Daniel's construction site, a sprawling custom home in the wealthy part of town. The kind of place Claire dreams about living in. The irony isn't lost on me that my brother builds houses for people like Oliver, while I help middle-class families save for retirement. Daniel introduces me to Tommy Rodriguez, a wiry guy in his 40s with intelligent eyes and calloused hands. He's installing a state-of-the-art security system in the new house, complete with cameras, motion sensors, and smartphone integration. Ethan needs some help with a domestic situation, Daniel explains. Tommy nods knowingly. Cheating spouse? Wife's having an affair. I need proof. Audio or video? Both, if possible. Tommy considers this. Cameras are tricky without consent, but audio recording in your own home is legal. I can set up something discreet, voice-activated, cloud storage. You'll have everything documented. How much? For Daniel's brother, cost of equipment plus a case of good beer. I like Tommy already. We spend an hour discussing options. Tommy recommends a combination of hidden audio devices and smartphone apps that can track location and monitor social media activity. Nothing illegal, but comprehensive enough to build a solid case. One word of advice, Tommy says as we shake hands. Don't get emotional. Treat this like a business transaction. Gather your evidence, document everything, and make your move when you're ready. Emotion makes people sloppy. Driving home, I feel something I haven't experienced in weeks. Hope. Not hope for saving my marriage, but hope for taking control of my life. Claire and Oliver think they're playing chess while I'm playing checkers. They're about to learn otherwise. My phone buzzes with a text from Maya. Saw Oliver's car at your place again today. You guys are so modern. I wish I was that secure. Instead of ignoring it like usual, I text back. Thanks for letting me know. Always good to keep track of things. Maya responds with a string of heart emojis, completely missing the underlying threat in my message. At home, Claire is getting ready for another client dinner. She's wearing the blue dress again, the one I bought her that was supposedly too fancy. Another Henderson meeting? I ask. Morrison Industries this time. Big potential client. Will Oliver be there? Of course, we're a team. Yes, I say, watching her apply lipstick in the hallway mirror. You certainly are. She pauses, catching something in my tone, but I'm already walking away. Let her wonder. Uncertainty is a weapon, and I'm just learning how to use it. After she leaves, I call Tommy. How soon can you install that equipment? Tomorrow afternoon work for you? Perfect. And Tommy? Make sure it's completely invisible. I want to catch them in the act. Don't worry, Tommy says. They'll never see it coming. Neither will Claire. Tommy's equipment is more sophisticated than I expected. Hidden microphones the size of shirt buttons, motion-activated cameras disguised as smoke detectors, and smartphone software that tracks everything from location to deleted text messages. Within 24 hours, my house becomes a surveillance center worthy of a spy movie. Everything uploads to cloud storage, Tommy explains, showing me the phone app that controls the system. Voice activation, automatic backup, and you can monitor everything remotely. Your wife could confess to murder in your living room, and you'd have it recorded in high definition. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. With cheaters, you never know. Guilt makes people do crazy things. The first recordings are mundane. Claire talking to her mother about work, ordering takeout, singing in the shower. But on Wednesday afternoon, while I'm at the office reviewing portfolios, the system captures something interesting. I'm helping Mrs. Johnson understand her 401k options when my phone buzzes with an alert. New audio recording, duration 47 minutes. I excuse myself and step into an empty conference room. Claire's voice comes through clearly. I can't believe Ethan fell for the Morrison Industries story. He's so trusting. Oliver's laugh is unmistakable. Trusting or stupid? Both, probably. God, this couch is uncomfortable. When are we going to start using your place? Soon. Jessica's getting suspicious about my late nights. Jessica, Oliver's wife. I'd forgotten he was married, too. What did you tell her? Same thing you tell Ethan. Work, work, work. Speaking of which, we should probably actually discuss the Morrison proposal, in case anyone asks. Later, I have better ideas for how to spend our time. The conversation dissolves into sounds I don't want to analyze too closely. I turn off the recording and sit in the empty conference room, processing what I've learned. Oliver is married. He's cheating on his wife just like Claire is cheating on me. And they're both lying to their respective spouses about where they spend their afternoons. More importantly, they're getting careless, overconfident, making mistakes. I call Daniel from my office. I need Jessica Martinez's contact information. Oliver's wife? Why? Because she deserves to know what her husband is doing in my house. Ethan, be careful. Once you pull that trigger, there's no going back. Good. I'm tired of going backward. Finding Jessica Martinez turns out to be easier than expected. Oliver's social media accounts are full of photos of them together at various charity events and country club functions. She's attractive in a polished country club way, with perfectly styled brown hair and the kind of smile that suggests she's used to getting what she wants. A quick LinkedIn search reveals she works as a marketing director for a high-end interior design firm. Her profile lists her personal email address, probably for potential clients who want to hire her services. I spend an hour crafting the perfect email. Nothing accusatory or emotional, just a simple message expressing concern about my wife's relationship with her husband. I include timestamps from the surveillance recordings and screenshots of Oliver's social media posts showing him with Claire. Dear Mrs. Martinez, I write, I believe we should meet to discuss a matter of mutual interest regarding our spouses. I have information I think you'll want to see. Please call me at your convenience. I hit send before I can second-guess myself. Jessica calls within an hour. Mr. Parker? I got your email. What kind of information are you talking about? Her voice is crisp, professional, with an underlying tension that suggests she already suspects what this is about. The kind that's better discussed in person. Are you free for coffee tomorrow? I think I can make time. We agree to meet at a Starbucks downtown, neutral territory where we're unlikely to run into anyone we know. I spend the rest of the day organizing my evidence, printing screenshots and preparing audio clips that clearly demonstrate Claire and Oliver's relationship. The next morning, I arrive at Starbucks 15 minutes early and claim a corner table away from other customers. Jessica walks in exactly on time, wearing a navy blue business suit and carrying a leather briefcase that probably costs more than my car payment. She's prettier in person than in photos, but there's a hardness around her eyes that suggests she's been through difficult times before. She orders a large coffee, black, and sits across from me with the posture of someone preparing for battle. "So," she says without preamble, "my husband is sleeping with your wife. You already knew." I suspected. Oliver's been working late more often, taking more business trips, paying more attention to his appearance. Classic signs. But I needed proof before I did anything about it. I slide a manila folder across the table. "Consider this your proof." Jessica opens the folder and reviews the contents methodically. Screenshots of social media posts, timestamps from surveillance recordings, photos of Oliver's car in my driveway. Her expression doesn't change, but I notice her grip tighten on her coffee cup. "How long have you been gathering this?" she asks. 2 weeks, but the affair's been going on for at least a month. "The Henderson campaign launch party. That's when it started, isn't it?" I nod. They've been careful, but not careful enough. Jessica closes the folder and looks at me directly. "What do you want from me, Mr. Parker?" "I want them exposed. Publicly, professionally, and completely. They've been making fools of us while everyone we know watches and whispers behind our backs. Revenge. Justice." Jessica smiles, and it's not a pleasant expression. "I like you already. What did you have in mind?" Over the next hour, we develop a plan that would make Machiavelli proud. Jessica has access to Oliver's work calendar and knows about upcoming client presentations. I have surveillance equipment and detailed records of their meetings. Together, we can orchestrate a public revelation that will destroy both of their careers and social standing. "There's a Morrison Industries presentation next Friday," Jessica says. "Big client, lots of important people, including several board members from other companies. Oliver's been working on this for months. Claire mentioned it. She's helping with the presentation." "Perfect. What if their presentation included some unexpected content?" I grin. "I like the way you think." We exchange phone numbers and agree to stay in regular contact. As Jessica prepares to leave, she pauses and looks at me with something approaching respect. "You know, when I got your email, I expected to meet some pathetic man who wanted to cry about his cheating wife. Instead, I find someone who's ready to fight back." I'm full of surprises. Good. We're going to need them. That evening, Claire comes home early for once, claiming she has a headache. She goes straight to bed without dinner, leaving me alone with my thoughts and my surveillance equipment. I review the day's recordings, but there's nothing interesting. Just Claire making phone calls about work and complaining to her mother about being tired. But around 10 o'clock, my phone buzzes with a text message alert. The surveillance software has intercepted a message from Claire to Oliver. "Ethan's acting strange lately. More questions, more attention to my schedule. We need to be more careful." Oliver's response comes quickly. "Don't worry, he's harmless. Just keep doing what you're doing." Harmless. The word stings more than it should, but it also confirms what I've suspected. They're underestimating me. They see me as the boring financial advisor who's too weak to fight back. They're about to learn how wrong they are. I text Jessica. "They're getting nervous. Perfect timing for our plan." Her response is immediate. "Let's give them something to really worry about." Friday can't come soon enough. The Morrison Industries presentation is scheduled for 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon in the downtown Marriott's largest conference room. According to Jessica, Oliver has been preparing for weeks, treating it like the career-defining moment it probably is. Landing Morrison Industries as a client would mean millions in revenue and a guaranteed promotion. Claire has been unusually nervous all week. double-checking her notes and practicing her portions of the presentation in front of the bathroom mirror. She's invested almost as much in this as Oliver, seeing it as her chance to prove she deserves a partnership in the firm. They have no idea what's coming. Jessica and I spend Thursday evening at her house, a sprawling colonial in the most expensive part of town. Her interior design background is evident in every perfectly arranged detail, from the imported marble countertops to the original artwork on the walls. This is the life Claire dreams of, the kind of wealth and sophistication she thinks Oliver can provide. Oliver's laptop is in his home office, Jessica says, leading me down a hallway lined with family photos. He never changes his passwords, still uses our anniversary date for everything. The irony is thick enough to cut with a knife. Oliver's office is exactly what I expected: leather furniture, expensive gadgets, and a wall covered with awards and certificates. His laptop sits open on a mahogany desk, probably worth more than I make in 3 months. The presentation file is called Morrison Final, Jessica says, typing Oliver's password. Here it is. The PowerPoint presentation is impressive, full of glossy graphics and compelling statistics. Oliver and Claire have clearly put significant effort into making Morrison Industries look like the opportunity of a lifetime. How do we modify it without him noticing? I ask. Jessica smiles and opens another program. I'm going to embed some additional slides in the middle of the presentation. They won't show up in the thumbnail view, but they'll appear during the actual slideshow. Oliver won't know they're there until he's standing in front of 50 potential clients. What kind of slides? The kind that tell the truth about his relationship with your wife. Over the next 2 hours, we create a masterpiece of public humiliation. Screenshots of text messages between Claire and Oliver, photos from their various dinner dates, and audio clips from my surveillance recordings. The pièce de résistance is a side-by-side comparison of their work calendars and hotel receipts, clearly showing their affair timeline. This is brutal, I say, reviewing our work. They made it brutal when they decided to humiliate us publicly, Jessica replies. I'm just returning the favor. The slides are embedded seamlessly into the original presentation, timed to appear during Oliver's section about trust and partnership in business relationships. The irony is so perfect, it's almost artistic. Friday morning arrives with unseasonably warm weather and clear skies. Claire leaves early for final preparations, wearing her lucky red suit and carrying a briefcase full of backup materials. She kisses my cheek goodbye, a gesture so automatic and meaningless it barely registers. Wish me luck, she says. You won't need it, I reply. I have a feeling this presentation will be unforgettable. I take the afternoon off from work, claiming a family emergency. Mr. Vance is understanding, as always, and tells me to take whatever time I need. If only he knew. Jessica and I meet at a coffee shop across the street from the Marriott at 1:30. Through the windows, we can see well-dressed people entering the hotel, probably heading to the Morrison Industries presentation. The audience will include potential clients, current customers, and several prominent business leaders from the city. Second thoughts? Jessica asks. None. You? I've been planning this moment for years. Every time Oliver came home late, every time he lied about working weekends, every time he made me feel like I was imagining things. This is for all of it. At exactly 2 o'clock, we take our seats in the hotel lobby, where we have a clear view of the conference room entrance. Jessica has used her connections to get us visitor passes, claiming we're potential clients interested in the presentation. The conference room is packed. Through the glass doors, I can see Claire and Oliver setting up their equipment, both looking confident and professional. Oliver is wearing his best suit, the charcoal gray one that makes him look like a movie star. Claire has chosen her red power outfit, the one she wears when she wants to project authority and success. They have no idea their careers are about to explode. The presentation begins promptly at 2:15. Oliver takes the stage first, welcoming the audience and introducing the Morrison Industries opportunity. His voice carries clearly through the sound system, smooth and confident. This is his element, his moment to shine. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about partnership, about trust, about the kind of relationships that build successful businesses. Jessica and I exchange glances. The setup is perfect. For the first 20 minutes, everything proceeds normally. Oliver discusses market analysis, Claire presents demographic data, and the audience appears engaged and impressed. Several people take notes, and I spot a few nodding heads in the front row. Then Oliver clicks to slide 23, and everything changes. Instead of the expected revenue projections, the screen fills with a text message conversation. Oliver's name at the top, Claire's responses below, and between them a series of increasingly explicit messages about their afternoon activities in my house. The conference room goes completely silent. Oliver stares at the screen in horror, frantically clicking his remote to advance to the next slide. But the next slide is worse. A photo of him and Claire kissing in the parking lot of an expensive restaurant, taken from Maya's Instagram account with the caption, "So cute together." What the hell? Oliver's voice carries clearly through his wireless microphone. The audience is transfixed. 50 business leaders watching Oliver's personal life implode in real time, and he can't turn it off. Every click of his remote reveals another piece of evidence. Hotel receipts, restaurant charges, surveillance audio of Claire talking about her boring husband and gullible spouse. Claire tries to help, rushing to the laptop to stop the slideshow, but the damage is done. The final slide appears automatically, a simple message in large, bold letters: trust and partnership in business relationships. Compliments of Ethan Parker and Jessica Martinez. The silence stretches for what feels like hours but is probably only seconds. Then the murmuring starts, quiet at first, but building to a crescendo of shocked whispers and uncomfortable laughter. Oliver's face has gone from confident tan to pale gray. Claire looks like she might vomit. Several audience members are already standing to leave, clearly uncomfortable with the personal drama they've just witnessed. This isn't... Oliver stammers into his microphone, but there's nothing he can say. The evidence is overwhelming and undeniable. From the back of the room, someone starts clapping slowly. Then another person joins in, and another, until half the audience is applauding sarcastically. It's the kind of cruel, mocking applause reserved for spectacular public failures. Jessica and I watch from the lobby as the conference room empties rapidly. Business leaders file out with expressions ranging from embarrassment to amusement, many of them already pulling out their phones to share what they've just witnessed. Claire and Oliver are left alone on the stage, standing next to the incriminating evidence still displayed on the large screen. Through the glass doors, I can see Oliver shouting at Claire, gesturing wildly, while she stands frozen in shock. "Think they'll figure out how we did it?" Jessica asks. "Eventually, but it won't matter. The damage is done." We're right. Within an hour, social media is buzzing with accounts of the Morrison Industries disaster. Maya, predictably, has posted a detailed recap on Facebook, complete with photos she took through the conference room windows. The story is spreading through the city's business community like wildfire. My phone starts buzzing with text messages from coworkers, friends, and relatives who've heard various versions of what happened. Daniel calls 3 times before I finally answer. "Holy shit, Ethan. It's all over town. Claire and Oliver got exposed at some business presentation? Is this your doing?" "I have no idea what you're talking about," I say innocently. "Bullshit. This has your fingerprints all over it. Remind me never to piss you off." That evening, Claire comes home looking like she's been hit by a truck. Her red power suit is wrinkled, her makeup is smeared, and her eyes are red from crying. She finds me in the living room, reading a book and sipping whiskey as if nothing unusual has happened. "You did this," she says. Her voice is hoarse, probably from screaming at Oliver. "Did what?" Don't play dumb, Ethan. The presentation, the slides, all of it. You sabotaged us. I look up from my book with mild interest. That's a serious accusation. Do you have any proof? She stares at me for a long moment, probably looking for some trace of the passive man she married, but that man is gone, replaced by someone who's learned to fight back. You've destroyed everything, she says finally. My career, my reputation, my future. Was it worth it? I didn't destroy anything, Claire. I just revealed what was already there. You destroyed your own career when you decided to sleep with a married coworker. I just made sure everyone knew about it. Oliver's wife put you up to this, didn't she? That vindictive person. Jessica Martinez is a woman who got tired of being lied to, just like me. Claire collapses into the armchair across from me, finally understanding the scope of what's happened. Her affair isn't just over. It's become public knowledge throughout the city's business community. Her professional reputation is ruined, her social standing is destroyed, and her marriage is finished. What happens now? She asks quietly. I close my book and look at her directly. Now you pack your things and leave. The open marriage agreement is terminated, effective immediately. You have 30 days to find somewhere else to live. This is my house too. Actually, it's not. I've been reviewing our finances, and this house was purchased with money from my inheritance before we got married. Legally, it's mine alone. My lawyer confirmed it yesterday. The look of shock on her face is almost worth everything I've been through. She never paid attention to financial details, assuming I'd handle everything and she'd benefit automatically. It never occurred to her that I might protect myself. You can't just throw me out. I'm not throwing you out. I'm giving you 30 days' notice, as specified in your agreement. The same agreement you made me sign when you decided to start sleeping around. Claire tries several more arguments, but I've anticipated them all. The house is mine, the car is in my name, and our joint accounts have been legally separated. She has her salary from work, assuming she still has a job after today's debacle, and whatever she's managed to save independently. It's not much, but it's more than she deserves. The next morning, Claire is gone. She's taken some clothes and personal items, leaving behind a note saying she's staying with Maya temporarily. I find the note on the kitchen counter next to the keys to her company car, which she apparently can't use for personal transportation anymore. I pour myself coffee and check my phone. 17 missed calls from various numbers, including several reporters who've somehow gotten my contact information. The Morrison Industries story has grown beyond local business gossip into a full-fledged scandal, complete with speculation about corporate ethics and workplace relationships. Oliver, according to Jessica's text updates, has been placed on administrative leave pending an internal investigation. Claire's status is unclear, but given that she was equally involved in the public humiliation, her future at the company looks dim. My phone rings again. This time it's Mr. Henderson, the wealthy developer who wanted to discuss his investment portfolio. Mr. Parker, I saw the news about your wife's situation. Are you still available for that meeting we discussed? Absolutely. When would be convenient? How about this afternoon? And Mr. Parker, I admire a man who stands up for himself. Looking forward to working with you. After he hangs up, I sit in my quiet kitchen and realize something important. For the first time in months, I'm genuinely happy. Not because I've hurt Claire and Oliver, though I admit there's satisfaction in that, but because I've reclaimed control of my life. The doorbell rings, interrupting my thoughts. Through the window, I see Jessica standing on my front porch, holding a bottle of champagne and wearing the first genuine smile I've seen from her. Thought we should celebrate, she says when I open the door. Oliver moved out this morning, took his BMW and his inflated ego and went to stay with his brother. How are you handling it? Better than expected. Turns out I've been planning my exit strategy for longer than I realized. Amazing how much easier divorce proceedings go when you have documented evidence of infidelity. We sit on my back patio, drinking champagne and watching the sunset. It's peaceful in a way I'd forgotten was possible. No tension, no lies, no wondering what my spouse is really doing when they claim to be working late. Any regrets? Jessica asks. I consider the question seriously. Claire and Oliver's lives are in ruins. Their careers are probably over, their reputations are destroyed, and they'll be dealing with the consequences for years. It was a brutal, comprehensive revenge that exceeded even my expectations. None, I say finally. They made their choices. I just made sure those choices had consequences. Good, because I have a feeling this isn't over yet. She's right. Over the next few weeks, the fallout continues to spread. Oliver is officially terminated from his position after the company's internal investigation reveals multiple policy violations. Claire resigns before she can be fired, citing personal reasons in a brief statement that fools no one. Maya, surprisingly, reaches out to apologize for her role in spreading gossip about my marriage. Apparently, she's realized that being the office gossip isn't as fun when you become the subject of gossip yourself. I never meant for things to go this far, she says, during an awkward coffee meeting. I thought you knew about Claire and Oliver. I thought you were okay with it. I was never okay with it, I tell her. I was just gathering information. You're scarier than you look, you know that? I take it as a compliment. 3 months later, I'm sitting in my office reviewing investment portfolios when Daniel calls with an update. Heard through the grapevine that Oliver's working at a small marketing firm in Toledo now. Big step down from his BMW days. And Claire? Moved back in with her mother. Apparently Maya got tired of having a roommate who cried all the time. I feel a brief moment of something that might be pity, but it passes quickly. Claire and Oliver created their own problems. I just made sure those problems became public knowledge. My phone buzzes with a text from Jessica. Dinner tonight? I have news. We've been seeing each other casually since our respective divorces were finalized. Nothing serious, just two people who understand what it's like to be betrayed by someone they trusted. It's refreshing to be with someone who doesn't lie about where they're going or who they're with. Good news or bad news, I text back. The best kind. Oliver's new job isn't working out. Apparently, his reputation preceded him. That evening, over dinner at a restaurant Claire and I could never afford, Jessica tells me that Oliver's new employer discovered his history and decided he wasn't a good cultural fit. He's been unemployed for 2 weeks and is apparently considering moving back in with his parents. Harsh, I say, though I don't mean it. Deserved, Jessica corrects. Actions have consequences. They're just learning that lesson later than most people. She's right, of course. Claire and Oliver thought they could humiliate their spouses publicly while suffering no consequences themselves. They believed they were smarter, more sophisticated, more deserving of happiness than the people they married. They were wrong. As we walk to our cars after dinner, Jessica pauses and looks at me with the same expression she had on the day we met. You know what I realized? She says. We're better people now than we were when we were married to them. Stronger, more confident, more honest with ourselves. Think they've learned anything? I doubt it. People like Claire and Oliver don't learn. They just find new victims. Their loss. Definitely. I drive home to my quiet house, pour myself a whiskey, and sit on the back patio under the stars. Tomorrow, I'll help more families plan for their financial futures. I'll have lunch with Daniel and hear about his latest construction project. I'll live my life honestly, without drama or deception or games. It's a good life. Better than the one I had when I was married to Claire, and infinitely better than the life she's living now. Sometimes, revenge really is the best medicine. But the sweetest revenge of all is simply being happy while your enemies are not. And I am very, very happy.